Hello and welcome to theory course of GIS and remote sensing KOE 066. So in this lecture we will be discussing about interaction of electromagnetic waves with earth surface features. So the contents for today's discussion will be energy interaction with earth surface features, energy interaction with soil, energy interaction with water, energy interaction with vegetation. So we have seen that electromagnetic radiations are getting generated from a source. So we have a source which generates electromagnetic radiations. Now those radiations travel through the space, and finally before reaching the surface of Earth, those electromagnetic waves interacts with atmosphere of Earth. So atmosphere of Earth is selective in nature. It allows only selective transmission of electromagnetic radiations. So a whole of that electromagnetic spectrum is not getting transmitted through the Earth atmosphere. Only certain atmospheric windows, or we can say selective electromagnetic radiations, are able to penetrate through the surface, through the atmosphere of Earth. So finally, when they transmit through the atmosphere of Earth, they reach to the surface of Earth. So on the surface of Earth, there are many objects, many features, distinctive features. There can be vegetation, there can be water, there can be bare soil, deserts, concrete areas, paved areas, there can be anything. So while that incoming solar radiation or incident solar radiation comes, it strikes the target, or we can say that more appropriately, it interacts with the target. Okay. So we are now discussing that what is the interaction, what happens during that interaction when incident radiations comes and it strikes that particular object. Okay. So let's see in this figure. So what is happening? This is, let's say this is incident radiation. So this incident radiation, after passing through the atmosphere of Earth, this has entered, and we can say that it has come to the surface of Earth. So it is approaching towards surface of Earth, and it will strike somewhere here. So when it will strike, so what we will say that it is interacting with the surface. Okay, so it is interacting with the surface. So while interaction, there can occur three phenomena. Okay, so here possibly three phenomena can happen. First is reflection, second is absorption, and third is transmission. So we can see that some portion of this incident radiation will be reflected back, some portion will be transmitted to another features, and some portion will be absorbed, some portion of that incident radiation will be absorbed by that feature. So let's say if the energy level of this incident radiation was 100, let's say take an example that incident radiation energy level was, let's say, 100%. So some portion will be transmitted, let's say 10% is transmitted, and let's say some portion will be absorbed, let's say 15% is absorbed, then remaining portion only will be reflected back. So around 85% will be reflected back. Okay, so what happens that while the energy interacts with the object, so there is a phenomena that can happen in the form of transmission, that can happen in the form of absorption, and the remaining portion will be reflected back. So we know that the amount of energy that is contained in incident radiation will not be equal to the amount of energy that is reflected back to the sensor. So there is some energy loss in the form of absorption or transmission. Okay, so this is basically what is called as energy interaction of electromagnetic waves with that object or feature that is present on the surface of Earth. Now let's discuss that first interaction. So that is reflection. So basically what is reflection? So it is the process in which the incident energy is redirected, or we can say that reflected back in another direction in such a way that the angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Okay, so these are the some common simple principles which we have studied in our elementary classes also. So it is the same that whatever be the angle of incidence or incident angle, it will be equal to angle of reflection. Okay, so at which angle incident ray will be striking with respect to some perpendicular or some reference, at the same angle reflection will be taking place. So Here, the incident energy is redirected or sent back in such a way that the angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. So when electromagnetic energy is incident on the surface, so what can happen? It may get reflect, or also one thing that is similar to somewhat of a reflection, that scattering can also happen. Scattering means that it can be reflected into many directions. Okay, so electromagnetic energy, when it is incident on a surface, it may get reflect back, it may get scattered depending upon the roughness of the surface. So it will depend upon that the roughness of that surface of that object on which electromagnetic radiation is striking. Okay. Now, second type of, we can say that there are some types of reflection. So there are two types of reflection. That is, first is diffuse reflection, and another one is specular reflection. So when will diffuse reflection occur? When will specular reflection occur? Let's see. So what is diffuse reflection? So it occurs when the surface is smooth and it is relatively flat. So a mirror-like or smooth reflection is obtained where completely or nearly complete incident energy is reflected in one direction. So when your surface of that object or feature is smooth and it is nearly flat, then the type of reflection that will happen will be diffuse reflection. And when the surface of your feature is rough, so that type of reflection, that type of surface will tend to cause a specular reflection. So the energy which will be reflected now will be uniform in all the directions. Okay. So this was which we have discussed. So we can see in this figure that it is ideal specular reflection. So the angle of incidence and angle of reflection is same. Okay, so this is the incident ray and the angle of incidence is equals to angle of reflection. Then this is ideal diffusive, that incident radiation has come and that radiation is scattered in all the directions. Okay, this is near specular, that incident radiation has interacted with the surface, some portion is scattered and the remaining portion is reflected back. Then it is near diffusive. So in near diffusive, majority, we can say that majority of the energy is we can say that it is diffused in the form of scattering and the remaining portion is getting reflected back. So this is an ideal pictorial depiction of the reflections which we have discussed. Now let's discuss what is energy interaction with earth surface features. So we know that on the earth there are different features. Okay, so there can be vegetation, there can be soil, there can be water. So as per our course, we will discuss what is the energy interaction of electromagnetic radiations with water, soil and vegetation. So these three features we will be carrying out. So this figure which you are seeing is called as spectral reflectance curve. In short, it is called as SRC. So let's just see what is SRC. So I've taken the name SRC. It is spectral reflectance curve. So if you will just try to understand the name of this, the technical name of this chart, you will see that spectral reflectance curve. So spectra is what? Your wavelengths, okay, your electromagnetic radiations. What is reflectance? The amount, or we can say the percentage of energy that is reflected back from a surface. And what is the curve? That shows a variation of two features. Okay, so what is spectral reflectance curve? A type of curve that will show the percentage reflectance, or we can say the percentage reflection with of a particular wavelength from after striking that target. So you can see that if a particular, let's say we select a particular incident radiation, and if that incident radiation comes and strikes the water or it interacts with the water, okay, and then it reflects back and it is recorded by sensors. So after the data has been analyzed by the sensors and we obtain some information, so this is that type of chart. So we can see how electromagnetic radiations will behave when it interacts with water. So you can see that on the y-axis there is percentage reflection. So here you can see the intensity of percentage reflection, and on the x-axis you can see there is wavelength. So it is 0.5, 0.7, 0.9. Don't go as per the commas. These are 0.5, 0.7, 0.9 and so on. Okay, so when we say that electromagnetic radiations interacts with water, so what type of behavior is observed? So you can see that amount of reflection, or we can say the magnitude of reflection, is very less. It is less than 10%. Okay, so here is the 10%, and the peak of reflection by water is less than 10%. So we can directly conclude that water generally does not allow much of the reflection. It absorbs, mostly it absorbs the incident radiation, and it allows very low type of radiation. Okay, so and that too, that peak of this radiation is observed nearby to 0.5 to 0.6 in visible region. So it is nearly about 0.55 to zero point 0.6. So that is around blue wavelength. So this is the reason why water appears blue to you, because it reflects maximum, its maximum reflectance is around blue wavelength. So it is the reason why it appears blue to you. Okay, and we can see that after 0.7, it means that no wavelength that is having no electromagnetic radiation that is having greater than wavelength of around zero point 0.7 to zero point 0.8. So if any radiation that is coming having wavelength of greater than 0.8 or 0.9, it is not getting reflected. So you can see that here you cannot observe any reflection in this region. So what does it mean? It means that water will not allow reflection for higher wavelengths. It is allowing reflection only in this region only, and with a peak near about 0.55 to zero point 0.6, that is blue region. Okay. Similarly, we can observe spectral reflectance curve for soil also. So here it is if spectral reflectance curve, or we can say SRC for soil. So you can observe that soil will allow some reflection in visible region, or we can say shorter wavelengths also. But as soon as the wavelength will increase, you can see here that as soon as the wavelength will increase, the reflection will also get increase. So you can see that in shorter wavelengths reflection was less, but as the incoming radiations were having larger wavelengths, so more amount of reflection is observed. Okay, so it is having peak around in microwave region and in intermediate infrared region also. Okay, similarly in vegetation, you can see that in vegetation also in visible region the percentage reflection is very less, because where is visible region from 0.4 to zero point 0.7. So up to 0.7, you can see up to 0.7 there is hardly this much amount of around 20% amount of reflection. But as soon as you go to near infrared region from 0.7 to zero point 0.9, so you can see there is considerable rise in percentage of reflection. So the reflection that was merely 15% in visible region, it rises up to 50% in near infrared region. So there is near infrared region, so from 0.7 to zero point 0.9 and 1. So you can observe that vegetation is reflecting majority of electromagnetic radiation in near infrared region. So this is one of the observation which we can conclude. So if we just want to analyze, or which we just want to study this type of features, so what we can do, we can see that water is having maximum reflection in visible region. So in visible region it is appearing blue to us. But if I just want to analyze one geographical area, okay, so I know if some feature is appearing very dark, or it is appearing as a black in an image, so what it can be, it can be water for a larger wavelengths values. Okay, because water is not reflecting wavelengths that is having larger wavelengths value. So we can use this feature to discriminate water from other sources also. Similarly in vegetation also, you can see that there is less reflectance in visible region, but as soon as the reflectance is increased in near infrared region, so that is one of the reason we can study, or we can observe the patterns of vegetation, or generally we study the vegetation in near infrared region, because the image is clear. Obviously it will not appear as green color to us, because we are not viewing it as true color composite, we are viewing it in near infrared region, means we are viewing it as a false color composite. So it will appear as reddish color, but the tonal distinctions will be very good in near infrared region for studying vegetations, because here percentage reflection is very much. So let's see what are the some conclusions. So energy interaction with soil. So factors which affect the reflectance of soil are moisture content, that how much moisture content is present in the soil. What is the texture of soil? Texture means that what is the different proportions, constituents of that soil. How much proportion is sand, how much is silt, and how much is clay. What is the roughness of those soil particles? Is there iron oxide and organic matter present or not? So uh, all these factors that affect the amount of reflections from a soil. Okay, so because we know that water absorbs the wavelength bands of higher wavelength. So if a soil is having high moisture content, so it will be showing less reflectance in higher wavelength bands. So this is one of the conclusion which we can use to find out that this soil is moist or not. Okay, so this type of uh, conclusions can be drawn out. Similarly, energy interaction with vegetation. So spectral reflectance curve for healthy green vegetation exhibits the peak and valley curve. So it says that healthy green, if the vegetation is healthy green, it will be having peak and valley curve. So you can observe that there are many peaks and many valleys also. So you can see peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys. So this is, if this kind of a curve is obtained, I can say that this curve is for a vegetation. Okay. So in general, healthy vegetations are very good absorbers of electromagnetic energy in visible region. Okay, so in visible region, these are absorbing most amount of electromagnetic energy. And if you see that what is the peak of reflectance in visible region, so you will find out that near about green wavelength. Okay, so near about green wavelength peak is there. So that is why vegetation is appearing as a green to you. Okay, because of this chlorophyll content. Similarly, we can see energy interaction with water. So we have seen that water is not allowing reflection beyond 0.7 to 0.8 micrometers. So on higher wavelengths, there is almost nil reflectance. So water provides a semi-transparent medium for the electromagnetic radiations. So thus, what is semi-transparent? It means that some portion will be reflected back and some portion will be transmitted through this. So obviously when majority of portion, or we can say that sufficient amount of electromagnetic radiation is getting transmitted, that it means that amount of reflection which is to be reflected back is obviously less. So that is why reflection is less from water. So water in liquid form shows high reflectance in visible region. We have seen that is around near about blue wavelength. So, and also it will appear darker in near infrared or other higher wavelengths because it is not reflecting those wavelengths. So you can observe, we can take an example, like if we are trying to if we are trying to observe some feature that is of water, so how can we distinct it from nearby features, or how can we classify it from nearby features? So you see, I have captured, let's say we have captured one image of a particular area, and I'm trying to observe this image in band 1. So band 1 is having wavelength from 0.45 to 0.52. So this is visible region. So 0.45 to 0.52, it is around violet indigo band. So this is the type of image it is appearing. Okay, now let's say if I want to see what are the distinctive boundaries of water body, where is water present. So I know that when I will see this image in higher wavelength band, water will not be reflecting any radiation, so it will be appearing as pitch black or very dark in color. So you can see, as soon as you are increasing this wavelength, you can see that some portion is getting darker. So you can observe, so as soon as you reach to band 4, the last band of, we can say that extreme of visible region, you can see that tonal distinction, you can see black color or is appearing more clearer to you. So as soon as you select band 5, that is 1.55 to 1.75, so in near infrared band you go, or in other higher band you go. So what you will observe, that water is now, it is not radiating any amount of electromagnetic radiation. So when anything will not reflect anything, so it will appear as black to you. So hence you can see that in this band we can very clearly identify where are the water features and what are their outer boundaries. So in this way you can classify different objects depending upon their spectral reflectance curves. So that was all for today's lecture. So we have seen that what is reflection, what are the different types of reflections, and how do electromagnetic radiation will interact with the Earth's surface. So we have seen spectral reflectance curve for vegetation, we have seen spectral reflectance curve for water as well as for soil. Thank you.